It's time for qualifying highlights for IndyKart from Allentown. First off, we have Scott McLaughlin hitting the track here on this short but fast oval in eastern Pennsylvania. Heading down the back straightaway, McLaughlin would end up running an 11.4, which would slot him in 9th. So a decent lap for car number 3. Next up, Augustine Canapino did not have as great of a run as McLaughlin as he hits the wall on his run. He would end up starting at the very back of the field, along with a few others who also ran into misfortunes. Along with him, the 78 Juncos Hollinger Racing entry just lost it on the white line, as you'll see here in the replay. Just got a little bit too low, and if you get off of that banking in these cars, they just snap, and there was nothing he could do. Unfortunate, but it's just the way things are. Next up was Porcher. Porcher's lap would qualify him P12. A decent lap, but he could have wanted more. Next up, we have Jimmy Johnson, who ran an 11.73 lap here, as we're going to see the full lap for the 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. Jimmy would just missed out on a top 20, qualifying in 21st position for the race. Elio Castr Neves is up next. This lap would put him on top as things stand. Following him, we have Alexander Rossi. Rossi would one-up Elio's lap. This lap would put Rossi on the top of the time charts, but in the end would only settle for P7 on the grid. Marco Andretti, however, was the highlight of qualifying for all the wrong reasons when his car lost grip on the exit of turn 2 and then flipped violently down the back straightaway. Andretti was all right after the impact, and the car just took off as the AMR safety team was on the scene very quickly to address any potential issues for the driver from nearby Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Marco just got ever so slightly too high, and at these kinds of speeds with the horsepower increase for qualifying, the car just snapped, much like Canapino. There was nothing he can do, and when he hit that wall, it just got too much air and the car went up and over. After sliding down the roof, on its roof halfway down the back straightaway, Andretti came to rest and eventually got out of the car once they flipped it over. After the track cooled during the repairs, Romain Grosjean hits the track. Disappointingly, Grosjean ran a slow lap and only qualified P18, but the pole sitter up next, Joseph Newgarden, set a track record all-time in any car of 10 flat, as you're seeing here. Just a perfect lap from the Team Penske number 2 car, and the track speeds were increasing. Unfortunately, Marcus Armstrong never found out how fast he would go, as he clipped the grass on the exit of the warm-up lane and slammed the outside retaining wall in turn number 2 on his outlap. Armstrong was all right and will join Andretti and Canapino at the back of the field for the start of tomorrow's race. Armstrong is a rookie here in the IndyCart series. So just see he clipped the grass, taking the warm-up lane just ever so slightly too fast on those cold tires. Zooming in there, you could see he was just ever so slightly too wide. And that's just unfortunate for him. Kyle Kirkwood also found out how the cooler temperatures could affect his speeds. He flew his way to a P6 starting spot for tomorrow's race. Going even faster, Colton Herta. He would end up qualifying P4 for the big race. Herta put in a very solid lap, breaking that 11-second mark. Here are the results in qualifying. Joseph Newgarden has over a third of a second back to second place. Connor Daly, Will Power, Colton Herta, David Malukas, your top 5. They are the only 5 to break under 11 seconds. They were the only ones to really even come close to breaking 11 seconds. Some very, very strong cars. Obviously, that'll all change in race trim tomorrow during the actual 12-lap event we have on our hands. Out back, Canapino, Andretti, and Armstrong all ended up crashing. O'Ward had a massive moment on his lap. That's why he ran so slow. And There's only one way to find out how things go down, and that's to watch IndyKart from Allentown coming tomorrow here on the FireLynx YouTube channel. Don't miss it. Goodbye.